one of the dangerous weapons on cyberspaces, on social media, that make people not to know how to think the way God created them to think is propaganda. Yes, propaganda is dangerous enough to make people to remain shallow without being deep. And the Bible said that deep call unto the deep. The Holy Scripture taught us how to think if you cannot think. The Holy Scripture taught us how to think in the book of Philippians 4:8. It says, well, if you might think of whatsoever that is true. But propaganda can never, there's no truth in propaganda. Think of whatsoever that is true, whatsoever that is respected, whatsoever that is right, whatsoever that is pure, whatsoever that is lovely. But when you're going to believe on propaganda, you cannot see things from God viewpoints. I will be showing you a video. This woman will be breaking things down the way you can also understand that propaganda it can mislead you if you are not making research, questioning everything around you. Ask questions. It's only thinkers that can ask questions. Listen to this.
Social media continues to surprise. Actually, scratch that. Social media continues to disgust. Guess what the latest trend on American TikTok is? Defending Osama bin Laden. And no, we have not mixed up the name. We are talking about the former Al-Qaeda chief, Osama bin Laden, the man behind the 9/11 attack. TikTok users in the US are sympathizing with him. They say he was wronged by the United States, that his actions were justified. Now, I know you have questions, like how does someone even arrive at this conclusion? And why now? So first, let me tell you the backstory. In 2002, Osama bin Laden wrote a letter. He called it a letter to America, and in that letter, he gave reasons for plotting the 9/11 attacks. One of them was Israel. Bin Laden accused the US of supporting Israel, of driving out Palestinians. Of course, that was not the real reason. The real reason was that Bin Laden was a radicalized mass murderer, a terrorist. But tell that to users on TikTok. They found the full text of this letter on The Guardian. They linked it to Israel's war on Hamas, and then they circulated it all over TikTok. Soon it became a hashtag letter to America. And guess how many clicks it had? More than 14 million by Thursday, 14 million clicks. Now, normal people would be disgusted by this, people who know what happened on 9/11, but not America's TikTok generation. Here's how some of them reacted to Bin Laden's letter.
Reading this letter, it becomes apparent to me that the actions of 9/11 and those acts committed against the USA and its people were all just the buildup of our government failing other nations.
The way this letter is going viral right now is giving me the greatest sense of relief. If you're Muslim and you've lived in the US since 9/11, you know more truth than the typical citizen. Now it's all coming to light because of Palestine.
I just read a letter to America, and I will never look at life the same. I will never look at this country the same.
I need you to stop what you're doing and go read A Letter to America. It is literally the craziest thing I've read in a while. And while I can't say that I'm that surprised, I am pretty shocked.
Just to be clear, this is completely false. Osama bin Laden did not plot 9/11 for the Palestinian cause. In fact, the Palestinian Authority condemned the attack. Their leader was Yasser Arafat, and he donated blood for the victims of 9/11. But who will tell that to the TikTok generation? They're convinced that bin Laden was right. Now, the propaganda is not surprising. It has existed as long as human history. What's surprising is people believing it so easily. All it takes is a Google search or picking up a book or talking to people. You can easily figure out if something is right or not. Instead, these users blindly believed the video. What does TikTok have to say about this? It's now taking down these videos. The hashtag has also been removed. The company says it violates the platform's rules. At the same time, TikTok is also downplaying the whole episode. Listen to what they've said. The number of videos on TikTok is small and reports of it trending on our platform are inaccurate. This is not unique to TikTok and has appeared across multiple platforms and the media. Now, we can understand people pushing propaganda on the platform. TikTok has 1.5 billion users. It's not possible to monitor all of it. But when a hashtag gets 14 million clicks, you really have no excuse. It should have been removed much earlier. Having said that, TikTok is right about one thing. It's not just them. Every social media platform is guilty here. Take Instagram, for example. Take a look at this video that has gone viral on Instagram.
كان صدام حسين المجيد بالإعدام شنقا حتى الموت لارتكاب عمد كجريمة ضد الإنسانية وفق المادة 12 أولا أليف بدلالة المادة 12.
This video says the world is missing Saddam Hussein. Is it though? This is a man who used chemical weapons on his own people. Yes, he supported Palestine, but that does not justify his crimes against humanity. And for the record, that video has got more than 3 million views. Why do you think this happens? It's impossible to name just one single factor. It's a combination of many. For starters, age. Most of the users sharing this Bin Laden letter are young. They were born after 9/11, meaning they do not have first-hand information. Everything they know is from other sources. In this case, that source happens to be TikTok. Secondly, the nature of information sharing. You see, reading a book takes time. Watching a documentary also takes time. So does attending a class. It takes time and effort. But do you know what doesn't? A TikTok video. Most of them are 1 minute long, 60 seconds. You see and absorb at the same time. You do not bother to cross-check or analyze. Another issue is the algorithm. It is designed to show you things you like or believe. For example, assume you believe that Bigfoot is real. Then social media will flood you with Bigfoot videos, conspiracy theories, sketchy CCTV footage, all kinds of fake stuff. Of course, Bigfoot videos are harmless, but replace that with vaccines or 9/11. Then you have a national crisis. Now, we need to change this culture. Users, especially children, must be taught where to source information from, how to verify it, how to analyze it. If not, such TikTok trends will keep popping up. And governments too must take notice. They must force social media giants to take responsibility to fix their algorithms, because right now it is hurting people. It's like feeding drugs to people you know are addicts. So action is needed. India, for example, banned TikTok way back in 2020. It was among the first countries to do so. India's reasons were different, but the end goal was the same: to protect its people. And this is not about freedom of expression or opinion. This is about facts. Because while people are entitled to their own opinions, they are not entitled to their own facts.